Was your intention to come out and just sort of rough up Adelaide and take them out of their transition game early?
Our intention was to really be aggressive on the defensive transition because they've been thriving on that and getting a lot of easier baskets in transition just through outrunning teams. And it's hard when they do a great job on the boards, and I was really pleased with our effort on the glass. A team that's out here averaging in the mid-90s, I don't know exactly, but in the 90s, I thought that we did a good job of taking some of their things away. Unfortunately for us, we had some chances in that game to convert, and offensively, we missed some opportunities. But you give them a lot of credit. They mixed up their defences and made life pretty tough for us. But it was one of those ones that just went down the wire. We put ourselves in a pretty good position to snatch it in the end, and unfortunately had a couple of plays not go our way and gave them an opportunity, and they were good enough to take advantage of it.
Just looking at that final play, what was the intention there? Was it to get Kevin the ball for a three, or?
Oh, that one, yeah. Oh, absolutely. We were bringing him off 3 screens, and then there was going to be a re-screen, but we never got the ball in bounce. Kev stumbled a little bit, I think, and I don't think he certainly wasn't intentionally trying to push the defence out the way, but that's what happened, and as such, it caused a foul. So it was probably the play before that. It was a little disappointing when we fouled down low. It was good play by Daniel Johnson, but we'd much rather him shooting overhand, making a play on the rim than going to the free throw line, because he's a very good, pretty reliable free throw shooter. So he made a couple of big ones when they needed it most, and fortunately for them, they came up with some big plays, and unfortunately for us, we had a couple down the stretch that we'd like to have back.
We had a couple of good runs during the play, one's a play, one in the second quarter, one in the third, where you had a good lead. Can you explain the reason why you couldn't convert that?
I think that it was to our credit that we defensively did some good things, got a lot of stops down that stretch, and we converted, but not to the rate we liked. I think in the first half, in the second quarter a bit, but throughout the first half, we ended up 1 of 15, I think, at halftime from the 3-point line. And I wasn't critical of many of those shots. Many of them were really good looks that we weren't knocking down. And then similarly in the second half, we hit some big ones. We were able to hit some, but then there were some few plays around the basket which we normally expect to make, a couple of critical turnovers that we can look back on and say, well, they were really good plays, good options, but we weren't able to execute our way through it, and we weren't able to get the result we were looking for. But give them a lot of credit. They played hard. They stuck at it, and down the stretch made some really big plays. And Jerome Randall, he's on another level right now. He's tough to guard, and we played more zone than we normally would, just trying to help on that penetration that he's got, but helped a little. But they were able to make some big shots, and unfortunately we weren't.
And at the end of the game, I won't ask the player's name, but certainly was the pressure, the noise, the crowd that some people did hold them there.
Yeah, we had a play. Josh got the rebound, saw Brad leaking out. We would have preferred him just to hold on to it. 5 or 6 seconds to go, just hold on to it, get fouled, go to the free throw line. You could see what he was looking at, but at that stage of the game, it wasn't worth the risk, and overthrew it and gave them another chance at it. So yeah, I'm sure he'll look back on it and say, well, that's a mistake, learn from it, and make sure we don't make that same mistake again.
And Kevin, coming into Sunday, how do you rate the team's performance? What do you think you have to work on to get the win at home?
Well, I think overall, defensively we did some good things. I think, down the stretch, probably, keep our composure in certain situations better. I think we did a very good job rebounding today, but, it was a hard-fought game. They're rolling really well right now, and that's sports sometimes.
And just finally, Andrew, coming into Sydney on Sunday, what are you going to do different to make sure you get the W?
Well, there's not a lot of time to make too many adjustments, so we will try to look at what we've done, clean up some areas, but really it's about trying to do what we set out to do, but just do it better. Hopefully on our home gym we can convert a little bit better from the field. we're going to have to play even better defence because we sat in the zone and they had some good looks as well that they just missed as well. So they missed some shots that they have been making. I thought at the start of that in the first quarter, this was, are we playing the Adelaide 36ers or the Los Angeles Lakers? I mean, it was in their prime. They were up and down, it was showtime, everything they threw up was going in and pushing the ball, and fortunately we were able to curtail that a little and get an advantage throughout most of the second half. We had our noses in front, just couldn't get that. I think we got to 9 up and just couldn't get it over that hump where you get to 12 to 15 there. Then the mindset of the opponents changes a lot. We weren't able to do that. So can't do much. They can't do much. We can't do much. Just got to, because we don't get to practice in between. Just got to refine some things, go through the tape, see some areas that we can get better at, and hopefully do well enough that we can make the difference.
Thanks,
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.